Is it time to throw away the keys? Well, maybe not yet. We're going to talk about Gene Barrello, what happened today in court. And he's got also another upcoming court case date of the 28th where he could be going to jail, having his bond revoked. And we'll talk about that a little bit. And there are a few things in this genre or in this community I want to talk about that are starting to nag at me a little bit, but it's going to be all in good fun. I hope everyone's doing well today. And without further delay, on to our feature presentation. So I'm going to do this more unscripted today. It's just want to take it kind of a little down a notch, just to make it a little uh, more informal. So Gene Borrello, I've been covering this case for you guys, and that last what was it last week he went to court and they were trying to put him in jail for he had broke the terms of that domestic protection order. So what he had done is supposedly had went in and got on, I guess, the Instagram account, may have deleted her account, who's the victim of Gene Borrello, and and then the victim herself went on to Joey Merlino's show. And so anyway, there was this court case. They said that Gene, within 48 hours of getting released from jail, he was contacting her through phone calls with unknown numbers, I guess third parties. He was, violating the terms according to the state. And they wanted to put him in jail last week. And his attorney did a good job to not basically keep Gene out of jail, but it was just temporarily. So they're going to have a formal hearing on the revocation charges. And what could happen on Monday is that he could either get his bond revocated, he goes to jail where he'd have to stay until the case gets resolved. If that happened, that puts a lot of pressure on the defense because Gene, uh, is facing the felony charges, and the thing that there's more pressure, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. If he gets put away, and what'll happen is if they say, hey, maybe he'll be admonished or whatever. If that happens, then that's definitely a win for the defense because that keeps Gene out of jail, but also as far as the timing goes to go through the process of the negotiations of the plea and all that really helps out. The plan now is I'm sorry, in June he will have to come up with a plea. So the defense and the state's going to come up with a plea. There's a deadline in June for that, and if they can't come to any sort of agreement, then it's trial in July. And most of the time, these things don't go to trial. I would say 5% of the time you go to trial. It's always a risk when you go to trial. Most attorneys don't want to take a case to trial unless it's a slam dunk. Most prosecutors don't like taking a case to trial because it takes a lot of time. Also, there's the risk of losing. And with prosecutors, the way they're judged is the percent of defendants that get put away are fined or found guilty. And and the thing is, they'll usually negotiate some sort of plea. I still think that on the strong arm robbery, that was her phone that he took, and I believe she has the phone back. And I could see that being reduced down to a misdemeanor. And I think that the reason they made it a felony was just a starting point of negotiation. But at the same time, we know that Gene Borrello's got a horrible record when it comes to his criminal past. And in the state of Florida might be they may be pretty serious about this. So we just have to see what happens. So anyway, today was based on this misdemeanor battery case. So when Gene got arrested, the one charge was on the strong arm robbery, which was the cell phone, and then the other charge was battery, which was when Gene allegedly was dragging her from the living room in through the kitchen, and you see she hits her head, or hits part of her body against the island of the kitchen, and so that's the battery part, and that's a misdemeanor, and I think they said you could go to jail for up to a year. Most of those cases you don't you see minimal time. They may want him to do some sort of domestic violence course or something like that. I just see that they'll probably try to combine the two charges at some point, have a global plea with the two, and he'll get, I mean, he'll definitely get probation. He could get a little time, actually. But what typically happens in these type of cases is that they will reduce the felony down because of what the object was. But we'll see. So right now, I'm not quite ready to throw away the keys, but after Monday, we'll have a better gauge on that. If he ends up getting his bond revoked, then that's not looking good for Gene Borrello moving forward. All right, enough about Gene Borrello. Any new thing that comes out of this, I will let you know. And so now we're going to move on to scatter shooting. That's a segment that I like to just shoot from the hip and give you my thoughts and opinions on a few things that are going in the community. And so I got some feedback from the show I did on John A. Light and Casper Rosa. As you know, Casper Rosa had went to the town hall meeting, what was it, March 21st, and he basically ambushed John A. Light and basically asking questions and then letting everyone know about his past. And John A. Light and Casparosa, they haven't gotten along. I don't know if they've ever gotten along, but they've been enemies for a long time. And I'll tell you what was really surprising to me was the amount of overwhelming positive comments towards John A. Light. And most of those comments were saying, "Hey, we need to leave the guy alone. The guy's paid his price. The guy's changed." I think a lot of people really uh, changed their mind on John A. Light when his daughter died, and I get that and everything. But at the same time, during as I was preparing for the show, one of the things that John A. Light does is he does public speaking. He supposedly goes around to police departments and schools and communities and talks to people. And in the article that I shared, there was at least two instances police chiefs that didn't even know who John A. Light was. He supposedly went and did these speeches and these events, and no one even knew who he was, and they had no recollection of him ever doing the event. And so it just surprised me. I figured there would be. I know a couple of years ago when I did something on A Light, I've not really done a lot on him, but it was like 99% were negative towards John A. Light. Well, now it's like 95% positive on A Light. And also want to talk about Casparosa for a moment. And something that really bothers me is that some people thought that I was praising him or being positive towards him. Yeah, I made a comment that people should go over and check out his YouTube channel. And the reason for that is that I used several minutes of his segment. That was his content that I used on this channel. Okay. I did it out of fair use. So I did commentary on what he did. I also added additional things. I transcribed the uh, everything that was said on the segment. Because the thing is that you can't just take someone's content and just use it without one having permission, or two, you have to do it under the terms of fair use. And the thing is, anytime I use somebody's content, if it's for 5 seconds or a minute or whatever it is, I encourage people to go over and check them out. That's the least that I can do if I'm going to use something that they created as part of my show. And so anyone that thinks that I don't even know Casparosa, I know nothing about him. And and then you had people that said that, "Oh, you know, uh, I did the show because of Angel Gotti." And, people that said that, they never even watched the show. I doubt that Angel Gotti I don't think she would have liked the show anyway. A lot of people have this misconception that Angel somehow controls what other people do on their channel. Maybe she does on other channels, but she doesn't control what I do. I put whatever I want out there. And I know there's stuff that she doesn't like about what I do. She doesn't like any of the shorts that I do about her family. She doesn't like any of that. And I get it. But at the same time, I have a channel. I'm never disrespectful. I think that's where people tend to um, lose sight. They think that because I don't talk negative about her, that somehow I'm kissing her ass. No, it's not like that. I'm respectful to people, especially women. And that's something that a lot of you need to do a better job of, because I hate what I see in this genre or in this community where women get attacked. I hate it. People need to be respectful for one another. And this is a community that has so much disrespect, and it just irritates me. And but no, I don't know nothing about Casparosa. I know that he's done some bad stuff to several people. I don't know if it's good or bad. The thing that I've noticed about Casparosa is that he always has these projects, and it doesn't ever seem to get completed. So, it is what it is. But if I'm going to use some part of someone's content and then I make it my own, I am going to acknowledge the source. I mean, that's what you have to do. I feel like that's the right thing to do. And as far as my content, people use my content all the time. I don't care. Yeah, it never bothers me when someone uses clips or whatever of what I put together. Um, just it is what it is. So, and what about Jeff Nadeau? Isn't it interesting? A couple of days ago, he said he won't platform rats anymore, and thought I've heard him say that before. Maybe not, but I think he's trying to get close to Joey Merlino. You know, and I have to give credit to Jeff Nadeau. I mean, um, he knows where you need to go to, bring in people, that type of thing. And so I noticed that Jeff has really kind of changed his opinion of Joey Merlino. But I also saw a response from Justice Tech Pro, and he wasn't having it. He was saying that he doesn't like Jeff and all that. And they've had some sort of beef for years. I have no idea wh- what it is. I just think it's ironic. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but Joey came out originally saying he wasn't going to be around rats, wouldn't platform, and wouldn't be on any show that did that. And he went on two of the biggest shows that have platformed rats or informants. That's Vlad TV and now Jeff Nadeau. And Jeff will admit it. He's platformed those guys. He's partnered with those guys. He's done all of that. And maybe he's changed his mind. Maybe he sees that it doesn't make sense to have them on. And here's my approach with the other content creators. I try to help them. I don't care if they're smaller, larger, or whatever, but I've kind of shied away from that lately because what I see are so many of these guys that are ungrateful, they're jealous, they're petty, and it's you can't really trust too many people in here. And so I just kind of do my own thing here. And I've never really had a hard and fast rule against having informants on, or I've had them on before, but typically what I don't like are people that embellish or they can't tell the truth. And so like let's talk about like Joey Merlino, for example. I would never want him to come on, and I'd never ask him to come on because I know that there's a boundary there that you can't cross. He's never going to give any information about his alleged mob history, the things that he did in the mob. And so it would just be it'd just be frustrating if you for me to interview him. So it's not something that I would ever do, and it's not based upon not liking Joey or liking Joey. It's based on the type of entertainment value or knowledge that you could get out of bringing Joey on, and my interest in the things that I want to know about Joey Merlino. Okay, and we'll conclude. I want to talk about my new membership that I launched yesterday. It's only $4.99 a month, first of all. I really think that a lot of you guys would like it, and encourage everyone just to, give it a shot. It's going to be totally different than any other type of membership page out there because I'm going to give you a lot more than what other people give you. And I I just want to provide. I have this passion for history, a passion for rich, deep content, and that's what you'll get here. And I'm also looking for people that want to be part of this community, part of this real mob stories, because I want other folks that can help decide the direction of the show, decide different topics for shows, and definitely want to get this to be a very community oriented on how we approach this. And you'll, as a member, you'll have my phone number, you'll have my email, you'll have a lot of research oriented content. You'll have papers, you'll have at least a deep dive mob show every month. If things can get big, we will have lives and a lot of special events. So here's a short clip on what the channel is about. I just wanted to play this for you guys. What if I told you that you could be more than just a member of Real Mob Stories? We're building something real here, a full library of high level, research driven mob history. Not rumors, not recycled stories, the real thing. As a member, you'll get exclusive deep dive videos every month. You'll also get early access to my content, and I'll be giving you downloadable research papers about mob history, like the 64-page paper that I recently did on comparing and contrasting all the Gambino crime bosses. You'll be an honorary producer helping to shape the future of the channel. You'll have access to me directly, plus live events, rare photo archives, and insider info on what's going on. It's $4.99 a month, the cost of a cup of coffee, and for that, you're supporting real history, Cosa Nostra history at the highest level. Click join, become part of something real. Real Mob Stories with James Proctor. So there it is. And the thing is, there's a link. I'll put a link here in the video, but also if you go to my community page, the last post will have the link to sign up for it. If you have any questions, let me know as well in the comments. And I know if you have an Apple device or an iOS, more of an iOS device, so like an iPhone or an iPad, you can't just sign up. You can't just join through YouTube. You have to do something special. Or what I suggest is that try to use a laptop to join the membership. But I do have a short video that I will link to that tells you how to set it up with your phone or with your um, the iPad. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, we've had some detractors. I mean, yesterday there was some people, saying bullshit that I don't bring out new content, but I mean, they apparently don't watch the show. They should look at what we did with what we did Sunday had the guy Joseph Pastore on, where we talked to the cousin of Dudu Pastore, and we went over a lot of stuff that had never been brought up before. If you look at my shorts library, over 1,000 shorts, and I would say half of them are about guys that no one has ever done anything on, and that is why I do the shorts. I love to put out content that people don't know anything about. And it's a lot easier with shorts. If you do that with long form, it doesn't always work because people are driven to your thumbnail and to your title. If they don't know the name, they're most likely not going to click. So you can't really do that with the long form content. But with shorts, it's perfect. And people are willing to invest 60 seconds to, get a bite size chunk of mob history. So I really enjoyed doing it. And then another guy was saying I was just doing it to make money, and that's funny. Do you know why I'm even charging $4.99? Is because I want people there that want to be there. If you want to be part of this and you don't have $5 to spend a month and you're real serious about wanting to be part of this, you'll I will find a way for you to get into the membership. But I think most people have the $5 if they want to be part of this. And I'm doing it more. I want it to be serious. I don't want trolls in there. I want people that are like-minded on wanting to learn about history, wanting to have a say in the direction of the show. People that want to, the thing is that I spend hundreds of dollars a month just to make this show happen. And a lot of it's just like the court documents. You go to Pacer, and some months I've spent $200, downloading, court documents, and so there's a cost there, but I'm not doing it for the money. I will tell you this, that every single penny that I get goes right back into the show. So I just, you're not going to get rich doing this, but it's something that I have a passion for. And if you have a passion for it, just please consider joining it. And then other people, I know another person is making fun of the research papers and asking if this was college. And well, there's some people that like the content. Some people actually can read, right? And I wanted to provide this for the people that are serious about researching this. I provide all the sources. They're all cited in my papers, and eventually I want to put this onto a website that like maybe for the members, they'll have access to this website where we can put photos and put all types of pictures and articles and that type of thing, and that's kind of where I'd like to go. And but it's the history where I have that passion, and I think there's a small segment here that feel the same way, and love to have you. So I know it's you'll totally enjoy it, and it won't be a waste of money. And so anyway, that's all I have to talk about today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all of your comments, and until next time, take care, stay safe, and God bless you always.